Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to Interpersonal Toastmasters. It gives me great pleasure to welcome our Toastmaster of the day, Catherine Opando.
Thank you so much, President Suzanne, DTM Suzanne. Toastmasters and guests, you are most welcome to this edition of the Interpersonal Toastmasters Meeting. Today, our theme is how to face life's challenges. I am one of those who faces life challenges every minute, every day. I hope you are the same. But even if you're not, somebody said it, that if you're not facing one, you're about to get into one. If you're not getting into one, you're walking out of one. But in every way, we all face challenges. And I'd like to borrow the words of our VPR, Raghu. I do not know where he got this quote from, but it's an Albert Einstein quote. I just love it. It says, "It's not that I'm so smart. It's just that I stay with problems longer." So challenges help us to become creative. Challenges help us to become the best of who we can when we navigate our ways around it, or we make the best of it. So before I get more into our topic, I'd like us to just share with one another. If you can chat in the chat box, just tell me one specific challenge you have faced. Give it a name, give it a short name. Just go into the chat room and share a challenge that you have faced that seemed to baffle you. Whatever it is, just type it in the chat room and I'll take note of it. Type it in the chat room. Any challenge you have faced, any simple challenge that you have faced, type it in the chat room. Thank you. Our table topics master Piyush today has said communication is a challenge. Stuttering, our evaluator Jim Denson. Purpose and meaning of life. Don't get doing well for my job. That's our timer, Amanda. Thank you for sharing. And I will share mine much later. But for now, I'd like us to get into our meeting of the day. Just to mention, today we have a menu. We have a special menu from great speakers, great evaluators, great timers. And I'd like to ask kindly our role takers, our tag team for the day, our timer, Amanda, and our up counter, Vinay Kumar. Please tell us what your roles will be in this meeting. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I will be the timer for today's meeting. As the timer, my duty is to note down the time used by the speaker. So I will show the timers cards by different colors to give you a hint that how much time you have spent. For example, I will show yellow cards at the midpoint of the quantifying times and red card at the maximum qualifying times. And I will be back with my timers report in the second part. Thank you, and go back to Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Amanda. Please, Toastmaster Vinay Kumar, please go ahead and let us know what your role as accountant will be.
Thank you, Catherine, for giving me the opportunity. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are. Today, I'll be performing the role of accountant. We use verbal pauses when we speak, like ahs and ums, and sometimes we use filler words too, like and so, while we are forming the sentence, while we do the thinking. So in order to count that, I will be reporting my report on the use of the ahs and ums, whoever is using, and then I'll prepare the report, and whenever I'll be called upon, I will provide my report and explain the details further. Thank you. Back to you, Catherine.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Vinay Kumar. I want to take an opportunity to also share two special contributions to challenges that we received in the chat room. Vinay mentioned that he struggles or he has found it difficult to elaborate or to speak out or to find out the purpose and meaning in the work that he does. And then I have DTM Susan, who has mentioned medical issues for her husband. These Toastmasters and guest friends, these are the challenges we battle on a daily basis. But I would like to encourage us that as we go tonight, as we listen, as we see resilient people taking positions, taking roles, we will be learning from each and every one of us. We'll be learning from each other how these challenges make or take the best of us. Before I introduce our speaker, now that we're going into our prepared speeches, I would like to talk about briefly what our speaker will be doing, and then I'll invite the evaluator for our speaker to tell us what his expectations are of our speaker. Our speaker, our first and only speaker, I think, that's all we have. We don't have any second speaker, is distinguished Toastmaster Susan Schultz, and she will be doing an ABC speechcraft. This is an idea to grow our club membership. I think that we all have a part to play in learning from DTM Susan, and I would like to kindly invite Toastmaster Jim Denson, who will evaluate her, to tell us what his expectations of Suzanne's speech will be. Jim, you're welcome.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. The purpose for Susan's speech tonight is for her to demonstrate her skills as both a leader and a public speaker. And in doing so, will introduce us also to her plan and her vision. Her speech, the timing will be from 5 to 7 minutes. And that is the purpose statement of Susan's speech tonight. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Jim Denson. Susan Schultz, with your ABC speechcraft, an idea to grow our club membership. Susan Schultz.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters and honored guest. A while back, as an executive team, we were strategizing. How can we make these meetings more enjoyable? And how can we get more people in the door to come help grow our membership? We have twice as many members as we see on the screen, but for various reasons, they're not here. So we have a challenge in front of us to Madam Toastmaster's thoughts today. And Raghu and I had a chat about doing a speechcraft program. Now, a while back, I assisted as a speechcraft coordinator. And then the second program, I coordinated one of the groups. And this time I am going to be the program coordinator. We've gotten 8 volunteers to be coordinators. Now we need anywhere between 3 to 5 members, participants to do that. So on May 1st, only May 1st, just a few short days ago, Raghu designed the advertisement. Perhaps you've seen it, the ABCS, Anybody Can Speak Speechcraft. Now, everything seems as simple as ABC. If you get started on a speechcraft program, it is merely a fast forward, 4 weeks long. Do an icebreaker, do a speech with a purpose, do a speech with the vocal variety and body language. That's fast forward. Most members join and may give an icebreaker in their first month or 2. And then some might not give that second speech for another month or 2. I know last time Piyush participated in the speechcraft. Did you enjoy that experience, Piyush? Gain something from it?
Yeah, it was very interesting. There were different set of people who came in and helped us on certain aspect of communication, which has been one of the challenges for me. And I still remember one of the person who came in and she was teaching about just the vocal variety and simple things like if somebody asks your name and you're saying Piyush, no, it seems like you're questioning yourself. You should seem confident, like my name is Piyush. So things like that, gives you a lot more weight in what you're saying, how you're saying. So yeah, I really enjoyed. There are a lot of different experts that came in and they taught little bits of wisdom that you can take away. So thoroughly enjoyed it.
Excellent, thank you. Well, I myself joined Toastmasters in 1995 by attending a speechcraft that was provided by the company I worked for. And I've been in Toastmasters ever since. Yeah, it's a long time. Do the math, it's a long time. The concept for this project is to gather together 40 or 50 participants. No small feat. We are halfway there. We're working on it. We have 49 people who've actually responded, but not everyone has yet converted to a participant. We were able to gather a team with Raghu's help. I have an assistant program coordinator, and she was kind enough to go seek out all of the speakers that we're going to have. So we have a wonderful program planned. There's lots to do along the way. I started first with a timeline. Concept, get started, step 1. I don't know how many steps we're up to, but many. And I've had to keep myself accountable by saying, when did that project get started? And when does it get finished? Is there a goal? Are we slipping behind? I highlight in yellow to let myself know there's something going on. We have another team of helpers that are the coordinators. There are 8 in total. They will each in turn have their own assistants in the room to help them with timing and perhaps evaluating. So this group has grown astronomically over the last few days. We had from May 1st kickoff to today, which is the 18th, not even 3 weeks. And we're almost there. We're ready to have the second meeting with our coordinators. We had the first one to give them the idea of the agenda and what their responsibilities are. And the second one will actually be to assign the participants to the coordinators. And I can't believe it. We're actually going to be starting on May 27th. That is the fastest I've ever seen a program of this size turn around successfully. And all of the players that are in place to help us do that are allowing me to exercise a little bit of my managerial skills, my leadership skills that I have gained through Toastmasters, and my communication skills. Should there be a little bit of conflict, I have to be able to address it promptly and courteously. I have to make sure that I do it with respect for Toastmasters because of the integrity that I hold and that Toastmasters expects from us to do with one another. And it's okay. We can disagree, but we need to chat about it and work on it and talk about it with respect to one another. I will be giving a second speech about this after it's finished, which will be June 17th. The speech will come later, but it is my hope and expectation that we can convert a number of these participants into members for our club. Now, they may have the right to join any club, but I'm hoping that we'll give them that desire that Interpersonal Toastmasters is the place for them. The timing will be right, we're hoping and praying. It is something that came from a chat to a vision to an action plan in record speed. And we are about to embark on this most magnificent program where I'm going to be the coordinator as part of my DTM project. This will be my 3rd DTM that I'm earning. This one's coming a little faster than some of the others because of the help of Raghu and the team that I have. So I'm so grateful for that. I am now going to just ask you all to share the ABC advertisement in all of your networks, on your Facebook, on your LinkedIn, or wherever you may have a club that you attend. Share it. Have people come. They don't need to be outsiders, non-Toastmasters, though those are helpful. They can be Toastmasters as well. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster of the Day.
A round of applause for our speaker, Diti and Suzanne. Thank you so much for whetting our appetites for this project. We are looking forward to learning from you. And did I tell you that she does this amidst all of her life personal challenges? This is a lesson for us. Thank you so much for giving us that speech. And we look forward to hearing the second speech and much more that will be done. I would like to find out if it's okay for me to share my screen, Suzanne. I'm able to, thank you. We will be going into our very exciting other parts of the meeting, but before we do, allow me to share very briefly about the theme for today, which is life's challenges, facing life's challenges. And I just want to share briefly about what this really means. Can you see my screen? Yes, you can. Good. Facing life's challenges is when you cannot control what is happening, but you must face it. Some of the things I have discovered from my experience is that there are some things we can do when we are facing life's challenges. One is to inform our knowing, our feeling, and our doing. This dispels worry. It helps us accept the situation quickly, and it helps us focus on the unchangeables. You are loved, you belong. Those are the unchangeables. No one can change that. But when you inform your knowing quickly, your feeling and your doing, then you can focus on these things. When you get intentional about capturing worry, then you engage the superior within you. I feel sad. I feel agitated. I know that it might not change now. I am nervous, but I feel that I am going, I must do, or I must keep going. Informing your knowing, your feeling, and your doing is a tool to dispel worry. And the next one is seeing the light out of the situation. No matter what's happening around Suzanne, she's choosing to see the light. No matter what is happening around Jim, he is seeing the light. No matter what is happening around Amanda, she's choosing to make lemonade out of the lemons. Get your creative juices flowing. Get intentional about your hindsight. See the woven tapestry in this challenge. Stay one-eyed or single-eyed, single-minded on the beauty that will come out of this uncomfortable situation. And then the last one, perhaps the last one, or maybe not the last one, see yourself clearly, then grow. Judge less, be kind, love more. Look at people and factors graciously. Look at your role in the situation. Face the anger that comes with a challenge, the disappointment, the disgust. Confess it, express it, acknowledge it. Face your triggers. Go down to the basement and ask yourself, why do I feel agitated? What does this remind me of? And then grow out of it. Make a mind map. Choose to grow. Seek for accountability. And if you can, follow through. But if you failed, acknowledge it and say, I just can't get up. The last, rise and salvage. I wish to borrow the words of Field Rue. He's a Zambian author. He wrote a title, a write-up. I think it was a journal or it was a simple write-up. I do not know where it was authored, but it's somewhere online. He says, don't be afraid or dispirited. Rise to the challenge and salvage what remains. No matter how dark, how depressed, how uncomfortable, you must look for the silver lining. Hold on to it and salvage that. I'm sharing a small picture of my children. On the left side, there are people wondering what to do. And on the other side, there are two happy youngsters. One of them is my son on his birthday. I don't know what had happened, but if I could tell you what happened that day, they messed up with a water pipe. And they're just so happy with a mess. This is his birthday. The older children are worried. You can tell they're tense. And then these two just laugh about it. Perhaps we might become like children and borrow the look of their happy faces. It will pass. It did pass. We fixed the water pipe and the birthday party went on. The birthday party will go on. There will be a difference in life's challenges. Thank you. And now I would like to invite our table topics master, Piyush, to come and take to the stage. Welcome, Piyush.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day, Catherine. Those were really great words of wisdom. Something that seems really plain, simple on the surface, but if someone really follows those 4 or 5 slides, their life will be amazing. Okay, let me start with my first table topic for Grace. Grace, are you ready for that?
Yes,
Thank you.
Toastmaster Piyush.
Perfect. So the topic for you, Grace, is what makes the grass on the other side greener? What makes the grass on the other side greener?
Is it green? Is it really greener on the other side of the grass? That is a question that most people ask me. And perhaps that was one of the things that I asked myself to when I was starting on my career, in my early career, right after college. Like moving into another country, would it be better if my life would be better if I move to another country? Is a good pay? This will be better if I move there or I just work in my home country. And I realized after a while, there's no such thing as having a life greener on the other side. It is how you make most of it. Yes, maybe the pay rate is higher, but then again, the necessities that you're going to will substantiate with the pay rate. And maybe you can get extra because if you send that into your home country with the conversion, it will be better. But still, I realized all throughout my journey that indeed life is just the same. It is based on perspective. If you are happy with what you are, you don't need to really look on a greener path, because I believe that towards the end, the most better way is just living the life that will make you happy. Back to you, table topic master.
Thank you, Toastmaster Grace. Thank you for your words of wisdom on the grass on the greener side and your perspective. Vinay, I have the next topic for you. Are you ready for that?
Sure, Toastmaster, please.
Thank you. So the topic or the question for you, Vinay, is what was the worst haircut you ever had? What was the worst haircut you ever had?
Yeah, thank you, Toastmaster Pius, for giving me this wonderful opportunity. The worst haircut right now, you can see it is not good. And the one which I remember when during the COVID period, I had like a lot of hair on my head. And I wanted to go to the salon to cut my haircut, but there was no salon at all. I didn't find any shop. So I tried to cut, but I couldn't because I can cut from the front, but how do I cut hair from the back? I talked to my wife, will you help me? She said, I can, but whatever the consequences, I won't be responsible for that. I said, that's okay, go ahead, try to do that. And she tried to align the hair with the sizes and all. She started from here, and then she went here, and then somehow the alignment totally misaligned. She cut more hair here and the less here. And to adjust everything, she started cutting. And I end up with a bald hair. There was no hair at all. That is what it ended. But I really liked it. Then if the maintenance is very low, what I found it, the consequences are happy actually. Then no maintenance. I don't have to use a lot of oil to the hair. There is no need of comb. Even though that was the worst hair I have seen in my life for several years, but that is the one thing I enjoyed it because of the low maintenance, low cost, everything. And that is the worst haircut, but in a way, it was one of the best haircut. I got it from my wife. Thank you. Back to you, Piyush.
Thank you, Vinay. That was hilariously funny story, and you made it up immediately. So thank you for that. The next one, Susan, if I may give you the topic, are you ready for that?
Yes.
All right. The question for you, Susan, is when has honesty not been the best policy for you? When has honesty not been the best policy for you?
Mr. Topic Master, fellow Toastmasters and honored guests. It has to do with hairstyles. My mother learned to cut hair professionally, and I was her guinea pig. I was in 5th grade, and my hair is naturally curly. She gave me a pin curl perm. That's a really tight little Afro style. It didn't suit me, and I had the audacity to tell her so. My honesty was not welcomed. I told her I looked like a poodle. The next hairstyle that I had was in the 1960s, the high poofy bouffant hairstyles like the artichoke or the beehive. And unfortunately, I was a 12-year-old in 6th grade, not suitable for these high-fashioned hairstyles. The children in school were not very kind with their words. As a matter of fact, they did caricatures of me, cartoons. The only person that got drawn more frequently was Harry Hagen. He was a redhead with freckles. The chopped buzz cut as Freckles. He's the only one that ran a close second to being mocked by the hairstyles. I must say that during those days, I did not welcome the honesty that others shared with me, and probably hurt my mom's feelings when I was honest with her. I was not a happy little guinea pig. Mr. Topic Master.
Thank you, DTM Susan, for sharing the story. And I see how you took some inspiration from the previous speech about hair and you kind of plugged it into this topic. So that's a really commendable skill to have. Our timer, Amanda, I can time for you while you speak. Is it okay if I give you a topic?
No, maybe next time. Thank you. Next time.
All right. Sure, yeah. All right, then moving on. So Jim, not sure if you're still doing evaluation. Is it okay if I give you a topic?
Sure, go ahead. Yeah, go right ahead.
Perfect. Awesome. The topic for you, Toastmaster Jim, is if early bird catches all the worm, how are other birds still alive? if early bird catches all the worm, how are the other birds still alive?
If the early bird catches all the worms, how are the other birds still alive? I think it depends on who the early bird is. See, I think there is a hierarchy of birds. They call the owl the wise old owl, and I think there's good reason for that, because they see everything. Their eyes are just enormous, and they see everything. And there's also a hierarchy by size. Birds of prey are the most majestic of all, and so forth. And then you have birds like the flamingo and the pelican. I think what the early birds do, since they all are birds and there's a kinship amongst birds, the early birds, it may seem like they're hoarding all of the food and all of the goodies, but when we can't see during the nighttime, and especially during those migration periods when birds either move south or move north, depending on food sources, nature makes sure that even though the early bird seems like they're getting all the food, it is shared amongst all the other species, just because they recognize we're all birds and we're all in this together. That is my fanciful description. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jim. That was wonderful. I see that there are bits from the Discovery Channel where you've gathered some knowledge, and also I see a tall tale in making. So thank you for that.
Sure.
I think there's only one person who hasn't spoken in this table topic contest, Toastmaster Catherine, if you're still around.
Yes, I am here. I'm
Okay.
sorry, I was just helping two people to join the room. Just give me a second. I think they're fine.
Sure.
Siva Arul. Yes, please go ahead. Give me my topic.
Awesome.
I'm ready.
Perfect. The topic for you is, what's the most outdated piece of technology you still use regularly? What's the most outdated piece of technology you still use regularly?
That's a very, very difficult question. I would like to think it is old TV screen that I still use. And I still use the VCR section of it. Know what a VCR is? VCR, I don't even remember what the full title of VCR is, but I know that it's the video cassette recorder. In fact, I've kept my wedding video cassette recorder on a VCR. I have not yet transferred it to CD or to any of the new gadgets. And this is because I have some old movies like Anne of Green Gables. I know that they can be watched on Instagram or whatever, but for some reason, when I place that in, it just feels like home. It feels like, there's a connection to the past. It feels like it's running much slower than the regular movies. It doesn't have any adverts in between. I certainly will be very happy watching, uninterrupted. I feel safe. I feel the old serves me. That is the oldest piece of technological gadget that I'm still using today. And my reason for using it is not so that I don't have an option to have the other, but I seem to have sentiments. I don't know if I'm growing old, but I seem to have sentiments to the old style of sitting down, close the curtains, and just watch a nice movie and get connected to the old style, uninterrupted. Thank you. Back to you, Tabitha.
Thank you, Toastmaster Catherine. Yeah, I can still relate to the VCR And we had VCP, which is just a player, not a recorder, and then VCR. And same way, I kind of missed the floppy drive in the computer. Like when I first had my computer, there used to be floppy drives where we would share our projects. That went away. Then came the CD and then DVD. And now in my recent computer, there's no DVD slot. Now is everything on drive. So we completely see tech evolving and brings the memories back. So with this, I think everybody had a topic to talk about, and I'll pass it back the baton to you, Toastmaster of the day, Catherine.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Piyush. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a round of applause to our Table Topics Master. I think these were wonderful topics. These were refreshing, very hilarious. We've learned a lot from each other. And I think I will take home lessons about the hair, mostly. So thank you. Thank you once again for allowing us to learn from the table topics, how to speak off the cuff. I'd like to acknowledge the presence. I do not know if the person who joined us is still online. I just wanted to acknowledge them, but I think it might be off. Siva, you're most welcome. I will give you a chance to speak about yourself in a few minutes. Before we move to this next stage, I'd like to invite our tag team. No, apologies. I would like to invite our evaluator, Jim Jensen, to give us his view of what Suzanne's speech was about.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Welcome everyone who is newly arrived. Susan's speech tonight, the ABCs of Speechcraft as a means of growing our club membership. Speechcraft, I've heard the term throughout my almost decade as a Toastmaster. And every time I would hear about it and how exciting it was and so forth, and the opportunities around it, I was intrigued and excited. But now tonight, hearing Susan, somebody who has actually done it before, there's a new excitement. She brought a new excitement to the topic by, first of all, setting the scene. She and Raghu were having a conversation. She was wondering, how is it that we can transform our club from a place where a lot of guests come and partake and enjoy our meetings? How can we convert that into people who actually say, okay, I'm going to be a member, I'm going to join? That's the existential question. And Susan gave an expert example, an explanation of what a Speechcraft is intended to do and how much coordination goes into a Speechcraft, the need for certain coordinators at different levels, and so forth, the need for collaboration. That side of it was really discussed very well, very well. And you could see from Susan's facial expression, you could hear from the vocal variety how much she loves being involved in it, despite the amount of tremendous work that goes into it. If I could make one or two recommendations to make the presentation an even better one, what I would suggest is, if I'm not mistaken, I do believe that there is written material from Toastmasters about Speechcraft. Maybe something that you could refer to, that someone who's interested can go to for more information, so that they can find out, okay, you spoke about 8 coordinators. Well, what specific thing does each coordinator do, and how do they interact with each other? It's obvious that Speechcraft is well worth it. It is highly involved. If people knew more about the nuts and bolts of it, that may be an entree to more people getting involved, which may further the ultimate goal, greater membership. But to hear someone like Susan speak about the topic, that alone is enough to whet one's appetite. So she did an outstanding job tonight, and the presentation is much appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Jim, for that evaluation. Toastmaster Susan, I would like to give you an opportunity to speak about the feedback that you have received from Toastmaster Jim.
I very much appreciate the additional information. If my speech were 8 to 10 minutes or 20 to 25, I could include more. I was running shy on time and knew I had to cut short. The amount of materials that there is available, we'll share by email and across the board on the WhatsApp for those that are there. Raghu has done a tremendous amount of advertising, and we have seen a tremendous amount of response. Now it's just follow through and getting them converted from interested to online. I think Amanda's going to be participating in our Speechcraft position as well. So this is going to be great as well to see familiar faces and be able to meet some other people from around the world who are all in it together to help each other. Thank you, Jim, for the feedback. I very much appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Suzanne. Thank you so much, Jim. And now we will have to hear from our tag team, our timer and our counter, Vinay and Amanda. Please let us know how we performed in our delivery this evening, this morning.
Hello everyone, this is the timer for tonight's meeting. Actually, I have put the timer report after you speak. I believe all of you are qualified. Congratulations. And go back to Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Amanda. Toastmasters and guests, I would like to encourage you to look at the chat, and you should be able to see at least for each one of us, our timings for our speeches that we were able to give during the table topics and prepared speeches, as well as evaluations. Toastmaster Vinay, you're welcome to give us your report.
Thank you, Catherine. I'm back again. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone. I had a lot of difficulty to find R's and terms, frankly speaking, because everyone is wonderful. I had very difficulty here. Most of the meeting where I found it was very easy to spot. I had a difficulty, but I could able to manage few. Among the timer, I found one error when you try to explain your roles during initial briefing. That is one. Apart from that, it is perfectly okay. Catherine, T-mode, you are absolutely fine. I didn't find any spiller word, any as and terms. You are brilliant. The speaking was very smooth and transition was also very smooth. You did very well. Kudos to you for that. Evaluator 1, Jim, absolutely fine. No as and no filler words. Speaker 1, Susan, I found one and some I couldn't able to record exactly where you spelled it. But it was like smooth 1 hour, somehow I could able to find out. Table topic master Piyush, I know it was like it took a lot of time to explain all the 2 hours, but it was okay. 2 hours from your side. And Grace, fine, no hours. I don't know how many hours I used, but I think I have used 1 or 2. There is no way I could record it. Susan, for table topics, no hours. Jim, I think you have used, I think, couple of times, 3 or 4 times during that first 1 minute of your speech in the table topics. Probably you might be, you are thinking a lot to grasp that difficult topic. So that is the one thing I found, but no hours, no arms, no filler words. Only I think you have used like 3 or 4 times, only during the first 60 seconds of your speech in the table topics. And Catherine, you are brilliant. That's all from my side. Back to you, Catherine.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Vinay. for that counter report. I would like to thank you, Toastmasters and guests and role takers, for making this meeting worthwhile. And as I wind up, I would like to hand back the meeting to our president, who will then invite guests to speak about the meeting. Back to you, President Suzanne.
Thank you, Catherine. And may I say, this topic was so important. I wished everyone were able to hear it, because we all face adversities, and you do it with a smile, because nobody knows what you're going through but you, and you know that it's good. This too shall pass. Somehow I got muted again. Did you hear any of what I said? It just went on mute by itself. Okay, I'd like to welcome Siva to give us any feedback on the meeting, please.
Yeah, sure. I am Shiva. Hello, I'm audible.
Yes, you are.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm audible. I'm Shiva from India, Bangalore, from Tech Mahindra Toastmaster Club. So I attend a few times this meeting, and this is today also I was willing to attend this meeting. To be honest, I joined quite late. I missed to talk in the table topic. Anyhow, this nice meeting. So I'm looking forward to attend continuously. Yeah, thanks for the opportunity. Yeah. Over to you.
Thank you for joining us, albeit a little bit late, better late than never. It's nice to meet you. Thank you for coming. And Vinay, you came to visit because you're a member of another club. Tell us what you thought about our club meeting.
Yeah, it is very, very wonderful. I attended actually a couple of meetings. I think this is the third one, I believe. I attend this meeting. It was like wonderful. I get to learn a lot about the public speaking, even though I am new, but the people here, right, so cordial, so supportive. And frankly speaking, I love the way the table topics and the session happens. It brings the best of it out of you. The thinking process and all, right? It's a kind of fuel, I can say, where you can ignite your thought process and thinking and all. Initially, when I started first few sessions, I couldn't able to talk anything about the tabletop, because suddenly impromptu, what you will talk, you will get a message, and I was totally blank. But gradually, as I go on, I'm learning a lot from all the people from this community, and I'm really enjoying. I'm really looking to be part of this. I'm trying to attend the session regularly, but the timing is getting difficult for me. It is early in the morning from India, where I am based out. I'm based out of from Hyderabad, India. So it is for me, it's like 7 to 8. It's a busy day, Friday, but I'll try to attend as many sessions as possible. Thank you. Thank you, Catherine, for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you for being so kind to step right in for an open role that we had as well. We do appreciate that. Now, for our club members, I would like to announce this weekend is our District 101 conference. You should have received multiple invites from the district to say, please register. You must be registered by Friday in order to receive the Zoom link for the Saturday and Sunday event. Grace, you should be registered as a voting member for our club, as well as me, because we will be voting on the incoming district director. We will be coming into our incoming program quality director, as well as the club growth directors. And there are 2 candidates for each of those latter 2. We'll have the opportunity to meet the candidates on a showcase first thing Saturday morning, and then by a little later on in the day, we'll be doing the vote. We do in fact have our program already set. That is really phenomenal. There's so much out there for speakers across the world, those that are contenders on the world stage, as well as renowned, very successful speakers. On Saturday and Sunday, California time is 7:45 and 8:30 time frame. I add 3 hours. you in India, probably late in the evening, whatever the time is, and across the globe. But please do see about attending. It'll be well worth your time if you have any time about share the meeting information. Amanda, it is the district information. I'll put it on the WhatsApp. It is the district conference. It was an email that came out, should have come to every member, but I'll make sure that it's shared on the WhatsApp so that you can register and put it out there. Unless Grace has got her time, she can be working at while she speaks. Can you put that out on our WhatsApp? The invitation?
Yeah, I will. I
Thank
will.
you. Terrific. I can always count on you, Grace. I really appreciate that. And now we are going to call this meeting to a close unless there's any other information other than scheduling our next meeting. Any other business that we need to attend to? Then I'll call this meeting adjourned, stop the recording, and then